Hey everyone, I've got 6 items here, some more interesting than others, and one, because it's a bonus item, one of these anyways, is non-electronic, so that'll be at the end. I think we're going to start with this massive one though. Let's get started. So this package is from Banggood. I think the gravy train is just about derailed now because the affiliate sales have gone down like crazy, which is fine. I mean, it's a ridiculous time to live, you know, inflation going crazy. I don't blame you guys for not buying as much stuff as you used to. But this here is a Riden power supply. It's not my Riden RD6024 that I love so much. This is the newest one. This is the Riden RD6024. So where this one here can put out 18 amps at up to 60 volts, but not a full 18 amps at that height. But this one here does up to 24 amps. So this thing is a little bit more powerful, but even better than that, the only thing that's better than one Riden power supply is 2 Riden power supplies. So I often need, to put out power more than one device at the same time. So here it is. So I'm going to take a look at this. I don't expect this to be much different. I think if the 6018 is a good power supply, which I do say it is, then the 6024 should just be more of the same. They have, Riden has really Apple-ish packaging here. Yep, I mean, it looks the same, which is good. Oh, I still don't have that little battery for the real-time clock in there, although I don't really care about that. But yeah, it looks good. What's in here? There's the temperature probe. There's the Wi-Fi module. So this one has little ESP12F on top, and it just goes in here, and you can connect it to your phone. A functionality that I don't really use. I'm not a big fan. I actually didn't even ask for the 6018 W, which is this one here with the Wi-Fi, but they sent it to me anyways. So I asked for the non-W. Got a little fuse, so very interesting. Don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's like a surface mount fuse right here, soldered to the board. But there's a little socket next to it, so when that thing burns, you can just put the spare one in the little socket. And I'm actually not sure what these little tabs are for. Oh, this is different. So these tabs, they go on here to connect your power, whereas this one here used a block. That's really cool. So I'm going to probably power this up very quickly because this is going to be a full first look video. This is just a mailbag, but for the mailbag we do need to plug it up and make sure it works. So let me get that set up and I'll bring you back. I'll give you better close-ups and stuff during the full video, but for now the RD6018 is here, and I'm going to power the RD6024 from its own power supply, and this is the first time I'm hooking it up. So this is running off a 24 volt power supply. This one is off a 65 volt power supply. And in fact, Riden actually makes an upgraded power supply for these things. And by power supply, I mean AC to DC converter. I think that it does 70 volts at, I don't remember how many amps, but it's 1,000 watts. So yeah, so here we go. We got the nice display. Oh, gotta go into this and change the settings because I don't like the noise this thing makes. There are a few differences between these two. Like, looks like these binding posts are a little bit higher quality, but they're less knurled, so maybe less grip on them. The buttons they all look identical, so that's good. And this is a press, yeah. Let's see. Do I remember? Probably shift menu. There we go. Language, English, boot logo, sure, buzzer. Let's turn that off. Thank you. There we go. Oh yeah, we can bring the backlight way up. Oh, 5 is the max. Okay. Looks about the same brightness as here. Update rate. Let's bring that up a little faster. Can I? Yeah, high. Slow, middle, high. High update rate is good. Sometimes it's not good because sometimes the numbers will be hard to read because it's like, you know, going too fast. 1400 watts max. Temperature in degrees C. Cutoff current, that's for the battery. So the middle terminal here is not a ground, it's actually just a battery charging terminal. That's pretty neat. And then how do we get out of here? Shift menu again? Nope. Nope. There we go. So yeah, there's the two. They're kind of the same, which is pretty neat. You can see that the current is set to 24 amps right now. I think that's way too much. They're 5 volt 1 amp on, that's the output. So that's pretty neat. So we're gonna have to put this thing through its paces pretty shortly. But yeah, it's got a different sort of setup to this one here, where this one uses these kind of screw terminal green blocks to slide in, but this one here has 2 screw terminals with little 90-degree adapters, so you can either use ring terminals, fork terminals, or spades if you want. So that's pretty neat. I can't wait to put this thing through its paces, but either way, this thing here, as soon as I got it, became my main power supply. So this thing here will very likely be just floating off camera, maybe up there, and so I'll have access to 2 power supplies to power stuff. So that's going to be pretty neat. On to the next one. Next one up is this one here. $12.58, April 22nd to May 4th. And I think this one is glass on the inside. This is a little bit more automotive related, but at the same time, these are actually really good for electronics use, and I'll explain in a moment what they are. So these are bulbs, and these are the brake light bulbs and tail light bulbs used for my Volvo. And here locally, they're about $3 per bulb. And for $12, as you saw on the package, I actually got 20 bulbs. So much cheaper to get online than locally. But why are these useful for electronics? Well, if you look at this one here, this is a dual filament bulb. So this is a brake bulb. And this is, I believe, about 20 watts. I think it's 21 watts and 5 watts. So these are really good high current resistors. So if you need to put a heavy load on a power supply for testing, for example, bulbs like these are perfect for that. And on top of that, you can use them in your car. So here's another set. So these are dual filament and these are single filament. So yeah, 21 watt on this one. So this one's 21 watt and only 21 watt. This one here has 2 filaments, 21 watt and 5 watts. So yeah, these bulbs, very useful to buy from China if you want to stock up. Because honestly, I paid $12 for these, and $12 would have got me 4 bulbs here. So now I got more bulbs. And yeah, that's much better. And here's the numbers. BA15S for these, and these are BA15D. And I'm trying to remember what the actual numbers I used. I think one is 1174 and the other one is 1176 would be the North American numbers, but I'll put them down at the bottom there. So yeah, check out this store. They have a ton of bulbs. If you have, let's say, a household with 2 or 3 of the same cars or the same makes of cars, you could probably get yourself a couple of these boxes, keep them in stock, and if you don't end up using them, they can be electronics loads. Next one up is this one here. It says module over here. But you'll see I kind of paid a mint for these. $42.28, March 30th to April 26th. These are some modules that I didn't have any of. So I paid handsomely for them. Yeah, I think there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, only 5 of them. So these are, I think they're called, well, they're clones, first of all, but I think they're Arduino Pro Micros. So clones of Arduino Pro Micros. And what's so special about the Pro Micro is it has the 32U4 chip on it. And the 32U4 is special because it works as a USB HID device. I think the D in HID means device, but you know what I mean. So this thing here, you can use it to do like programmable, like custom joysticks or keyboards or mice or stuff like that with these Arduino. Now the other option would be a Leonardo or clone, but I like these because they are smaller, and I plan on doing, I think I have 2 projects, maybe 3 now, lined up that needs to be a USB device. And so that's what this is going to be part of. If you've seen some of the parts from the last 2 mailbags, I think the 24 volt power supply, 1200 watt thing, the mechanical sort of linkages, the ball joints, that's part of that. The micro switches is part of that. So this is a project I'll be taking on in the next couple of months for sure, and experimenting until then. So yeah, expect these things. You know, I'm going to probably do a tutorial on getting these things detected as HIDs, HID devices, whatever you want to call them. I've got these, and I've got also some different ones with the 32U4. I think they're called the USB Beetles or something like that. But anyways, I'm going to go through all of that and, you know, at least make something like a custom joypad or something, custom controller. And then you guys can try it at home. But yeah, these things were kind of expensive. Because if you think there's 5 of them here and it cost me $42, they're like $8 each, something like that. Very expensive because of shortages. But hey, I got to do what I got to do, right? If the project calls for it, you need it. Let's follow that other expensive one with this expensive one. This thing is kind of big, but there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of the same stuff, you'll see. April 22nd ordered, May 4th arrived. 31.25. So what could possibly be a lot of the same items for 31.25? Oh yeah. So, on my recent sponsored PCBWay videos, I have asked if you guys preferred through-hole or surface mount soldering. You guys overwhelmingly said through-hole. So here is a refill to my through-hole common used resistors, but in 1,000 pieces each. So I got 100 ohms, I got 1K ohm, I got 4.7K, 10K, and 100K. So I got these in 1,000 off quantities. They were about 1/3 of a cent each, I think, if you do the math. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can math it. But basically, here's my thoughts. So 100 ohms is a nice size to put on like on these 3-watt LEDs, kind of these jobbies. You put 2 in parallel, or no, that's 10 ohms. Sorry, these are for the high current, the high CRI LEDs. These guys here. So yeah, I put 2 in parallel, 50 ohms total resistance. They stay cool. Plus 100 ohms is just a nice round number. 1K, I've been using 1Ks for LED resistors for LEDs that are indicators. So even the indicators are too bright at 1K, so 4.7K is another. So 1K also can be used for bases of transistors. 4.7K is a nice, relatively, high current pull up or pull down resistor. 10K is a slightly less current pull up or pull down, and 100K is even less current than that. But you can use these also to tie sort of like the MOSFET gates to ground or to power. You know, these things have a lot of uses. They're nice round numbers, and they're kind of far enough apart. And I find myself building, you know, especially with my sponsorship with PCBWay, I build repetitive type circuits. Like, you know, we'll have a board with like 24, which requires 24 or 48 resistors. And so if you buy resistors in 100 packs, that's 2 boards at 48 resistors a board. So these are cheap, but you need to have them on hand. It was still cheaper to buy them in 1,000 off quantities from AliExpress than it was to buy them locally and buy a large factor. I think these were half the price than buying them locally. So I might as well order them ahead of time, have them in stock, and then use them, you know, with reckless disregard. I should be okay now. I've got another order of resistors coming, but they'll be SMD this time for my own uses. And yeah, I hope that this means I don't have to restock on these for a while, because the next step up would be to order them in 5,000 quantities, so the big boxes. And I hope I don't need to buy 5,000 at a time. Or maybe that means I've achieved some level of success. Who knows? And the last of the electronics packages today, this one has no description. April 22nd ordered, May 5th arrived, $11.46. These are Spade Terminals. I could have used these earlier when I plugged in that Riden thing. But yeah, these are 3 sizes of male and female Spade Terminals in 100 off quantities. So basically, I am just at a point where every project I do requires like a different connector, which really sucks. So I'm stocking up now on all different sizes, all different types, and then I can put these into my projects at will. And it's not that I design the wrong types of connectors in, it's that products that I design stuff for require different connectors. So now I should be all set up. These are the types that have the claw that grab onto the insulation. So if you see, maybe I should just zoom you in a little bit closer. Yeah, so they have the dual claws. So this part here with my big sausage fingers, that clamps onto the stripped end of the wire, and this part here will actually clamp onto the insulation, so that it makes a stronger connection physically, so you can't pull them apart as easily. And yeah, there's a couple different sizes in here, 3 different sizes. I want all the connectors in stock so I can use them. These are a bit more flimsy than I was expecting, but I mean, it is what it is. It will carry a relatively good amount of current, and if not, we'll have to figure something else out. But yeah, these are now going to be in stock. And on top of that, I am working on a crimping video, the end-all be-all crimping video. And these are required to show, you know, different kinds of crimps. Here, I'll just give you a little example of what I mean, stuff needing different connectors. So this is a standard switch, and you need a female spade connector to fit on this. And so yeah, you can make your own harnesses, but if you don't have the crimps, There we go. See, this will go right on there. So now I can make a little wire harness for this instead of doing what I did here, which is solder onto this side here. So I'd much rather a removable solution like this. Also, I didn't bother getting any of the plastic covers for these things. There's a little plastic sheath that goes over, because I'd much rather use heat shrink and just heat shrink over, and that should be just fine. So yeah, 3 different sizes. Should have everything I need in stock now. I think actually one more thing I need would be the 4mm crimp on bullets, but that's going to be for another day. And I'll leave you zoomed in for non-electronics item because it is pretty small. $3.22, April 22nd to May 5th. And yeah, these just randomly popped up for me, and I thought, hey, I can use these. Empty bag. Okay, so these are zippers, but they are repair zippers. Oh, you need the light up. That's a little bit better. So these are repair zippers. They are hinged, I think. Don't know. I don't remember what the ad said, but I think they just clamp onto your clothes. Yeah, they open up. So you just clamp that onto your clothes and it fixes the zipper. And I have a brown sweater that I probably bought in 2004 or 5, which the zipper has been broken for about 5 years, and I just wear it, you know, without a zipper. Let's see if this thing fixes it. So here is my sweater. I don't actually know if this is gonna work, right? But I'd like to see if it does. So the concept is, I think you just crimp that on, but I don't know if you have to align this or whatever. Literally the ad shows, or the ad, I guess, the AliExpress listing shows that you just put this on and you crimp it down. I don't know. Will this work? Well, grab that half. Push that in. Push these two close together. Crimp it shut. Oh, okay, it's on there. Let's see what happens if I zip now. It opened. Come on, AliExpress. Don't fail me now. Maybe you need to, like, stick these halves together. Maybe I'll just try to work this up like this. I really don't know. Let me mess with this a bit. So it seems like it's not the right size for this zipper. It does go up and down, but yeah, it flies off and it opens up. I mean, I don't mind putting a little bit of super glue in here to keep it shut, but yeah, it's too wide on the outside here to hold this together. So I will keep wearing this as, you know, sort of like a shawl, because I'm really not into waist. The sweater works, it just doesn't have a zipper. But yeah, these things, you know, for $3 it was worth a shot. I really like, I mean, there's no reason to throw out a sweater, and if I could have it fixed, that'd be great. But at the same time, I'm not going to go pay, you know, some tailor, like what, $30 to replace the zipper on a shirt that probably cost me about $10 back in the day. Oh well, that's it. And so that's it for today's mailbag. I have to thank my Patreon patrons for their unwavering support. It's thanks to them that this whole thing keeps going. The show stays on the road. So if you want to join that awesome crew, even if it's just $1 a month, hit up the link in the description below. The next thing I want to thank is my viewers. I mean, when you put out a video and you get no views, it's kind of depressing. So thank you to the viewers who keep clicking on the videos, sharing the videos. You guys are the best. And thank you to all of those who were buying stuff from my Banggood affiliate links. That's what kept these shop upgrades flowing in. It's okay if you can't afford it anymore. I completely get it. I can't afford much, and so totally fine. It was a good run while it lasted, but it's thanks to you guys that there was a run, at all. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.